Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 2. Sorry about that. Gentleman is here. Everything is underway. We all good. Neil, looks
Also,
like he's
you need
eating a
mods.
big chip. Mod?
Look at chat.
Was that person?
We aren't mods.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, let's fix that.
You don't have any mods.
Oh, Neil, you used to be, but I think I banned you once as a joke. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry about that, boys. All right. And if you're on YouTube, joke's on you. So you you look at the look on Tesh right now. He looks like somebody who's about to drop some hellfire on somebody. He's like, I have the power now. That's beautiful. Thanks, Tesh. So moving on, we're gonna bring the camera over to Jake. My apologies, Jake. You had that is all. You kind of like you got the information, you understood, and so he's just like, so is that the plan then?
Yes.
Obviously, I won't be doing it now. I'll be waiting for you when you arrive there. Call for me again, and I'll make it happen. Good luck. I hope you know what you're doing.
He just nods at him, says thank you.
And as always, and this is for all three of you, kind of like simultaneously, he does turn and he steps away and he fades. However, usually it's like literally, he takes one step, like 1 foot forward. As he's stepping forward, his body fades. This time, it's a little jarring from that. He takes a step and then another, and then like during like between the second and third step, he like kind of like almost like glitchy, kind of like fades away. It almost looks like funny and weird as he does it, as clearly whatever magics he's using is being very strained for him to pull himself consciousness and everything in 3 places at the same time. And it does make you wonder, what the hell is this guy? But either way, he does succeed to do what you need him to do, and continues on. You're going to turn your horses from heading out the eastern gates. And was this done in front of 2 and 3? I believe it was, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. She'll look to you and say, so to the north then?
To the north.
Good. And give us an opportunity to swing by Vroga's temple first. Proper blessing.
That's what I planned.
She nods. And you guys turn your horses and we march on Kurzfall. La! Just kidding.
Hang on a second.
We march forward.
So you
Hold up.
you guys turn north and start riding hard there. Again, as we just stated, it's a little bit shorter of a ride for you. I think it's only a day and a half instead of 2.5 days. So it's a brilliant move there, Jake. And we're gonna
Music's loud.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Again, I can't hear things the way I used to. 1, 2, boom. All right, Neil, you were able to get to your destination the fastest out of everybody.
I'm on a horse.
Your whole army is. You can get there in less than 1 day's ride, which is beautiful, as opposed to they have to go a day plus some. So less than 1 day's ride, you're able to get there. So let's describe what your army witnesses as they arrive.
As he arrived.
As he arrive, your army he. Get this ready. Where are we? Oop. Back out the map. So as you're arriving there, what you end up seeing is the town of Harrod. It's not exactly a teeny tiny town like Kurzfall or Rid or anything like that. It's actually much more built up, more along the lines of so sorry, I keep clicking away between different areas. More along the lines of, like, say, Forvin. Forvin, which is actually like a large town. There's a decent-sized population there. There's a fairly bustling, especially in the markets, or specifically for Harrod and Forvin, over by, like, say, where the river or the lake is. But when you're arriving to the north end of this. The way that you would travel between where it is that you're coming from and to Harrod would be across a bridge. Now, obviously, you're smart enough that you wouldn't just, go charging immediately in. You would send scouts. Would you personally be a part of the scouting, or would you allow some of the work to just be done by your soldiers?
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for me to not go personally do some scouting.
I'm sorry?
There's no reason to not go and do scouting.
Okay. So probably you and two of your soldiers, while the rest of them continue the march, will kind of like ride ahead and go do the scouting yourself. So with the three of you doing that, what's your tactic? I mean, aside from we hide on the top of a hill nearby and look out with squinty eyes, what's your tactic for trying to scout ahead to the river that leads to Harrod? And of course, because you left early in the morning, this is going to be late in the day. And because it's early spring, as you're arriving, the sun's getting low because nighttime's kind of early in the spring. But it's not completely dark yet, not quite twilight. If you want to push, you can attack before sunset.
I mean, my plan for scouting has to be I have to see whether they're ready for war.
Okay. So my apologies. How are you going to accomplish this task without being seen? Do you put on disguises, ride in as merchants? Do you get binoculars, which don't exist?
I mean, I'm considering we're on horseback.
Mm-hmm.
If they aren't ready, then they aren't going to be ready by the time we're there.
Okay, sure. So it's one of those you don't care if you trip alarms. They might be able to.
We don't go out of our way to be seen, but just
course.
by having a quick look, you can look across and you're like, are there people out in all the fields? Are the gates closed?
Perfect. Completely understand. You're saying that even if we do get tripped up, we're not too concerned because we'll be able to get there before the appropriate. Perfect. Love it. So you go ahead and start doing the scouting. I want you to make me a perception check, but it's not just you; it's the group of you, and it's not like a quick 10-second thing. It's like a period of time. So I need 2 checks from you: perception and stealth, and both of those have a modifier. Your perception is going to have because the time being spent a +4. Your stealth is going to have a -4.
Okay. I'm not applying either of those. We'll have to apply them after. Oh, glorious. Yeah, we get spotted.
Mm-hmm. Yep, oi, that over there, is that a scout? So,
but I can't see what we look like because the sun is hanging low, so we're just black silhouettes of horsemen.
You're going north to south? Oh.
The sun
It's the southern
is
hemisphere.
hanging low.
I always forget it's the southern hemisphere. The north is different for people that live in Australia than it is that people that live in up here. So so yeah, you'd be a bit silhouette-y. So when you go down there and you start to investigate what you see, there is a bridge that gaps the river that would lead over to Harrod. You don't exactly see Harrod. You kind of see, okay, there's buildings over there, but it's too far away on the other side of the bridge for you to properly see all the details of it, because Harrod is kind of designed in a way where it's almost, think about the shape of like a kidney bean or something like that, right? It's kind of oblong and a bit curved, where part of it actually reaches out to the river, and then there's kind of a curving away from the river, but kind of along inland. So if you imagine, say, if the river is here, the town kind of curves like this, and the actual bridge is going to be over in this direction over here. So there's a big gap of an open field between where the town ends and where the bridge begins. And you can imagine they have this planned for whatever reasons in the past, but it does allow for say an army or whatever to be situated there. And you do see exactly that. Tents situated, set up where the soldiers would be on the other side of the bridge. The bridge itself, but they do not look like they're standing and prepared for war. The bridge itself looks to be comprised of wood. So obviously stone, on either side, kind of setting it up. But then it's going to be literally a wooden bridge set across. There are scouts. Sorry, I should say there are lookouts or whatnot that exist down there. But they don't even have a temporary or permanent watchtower situation going on. So the only reason why they happen to notice you is because at first you're I'm pretty sure that's Harrod. I'm pretty sure it's the camp. But you keep inching a little bit closer and a little bit closer, trying to get more detail. But then at one point in time, you just end up giving away your position. And so you notice them noticing you. And you're all right, let's get out of here, boys. Let's go back. The information being, wooden bridge, you can ride 2 horses wide if you go across it. 3 if you're really squishing together. And then the army's on the other side, but they're not ready for war. You go back to your peoples.
Okay, so there's Harrod, a field, their reserve, their armies camped at this bridge. The bridge, which isn't very wide, which suggests to me that the river isn't particularly wide either.
The river is not a crazy wide river. It does have a decent strength of flow, though.
Okay. Let's, as we return, can I send the other two to travel the, so we'll fall back away from the riverside and then they'll travel along. I just want to get a idea if there's any fording points, because on horseback you can ford easier than a foot soldier. So they wouldn't necessarily expect, because they don't know we're a mounted army, they wouldn't necessarily expect us to be able to ford. And also we're afforded more points to ford because we're on horseback.
Yeah, it's funny actually, because they don't know you're mounted. They probably just think you're scouts and it's just you. So you probably could do more. So you're looking for areas of the river that might be a little bit more easily kind of like worked along. So you send your scouts that way. This is not going to get the bonus. I'm going to have you roll me just a flat D20 plus 2. And we'll see what your scouts are able to find out for us.
I would put roll. Good job, guys.
Okay. So you are sending them scouting along. They discover two things. One, the closer it gets to the actual lake, so the further to the west that you go, the stronger the current is immediately coming out of it. It almost seems to pour out of the lake as the water's coming down, right? The closer you get to Haude Gwenh, closer you get to Haude Gwenh, like so going to the east, it actually very quickly kind of like widens and flattens and makes it so it's something that you could ride into, ford over if you needed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they also discover something else. They notice that the armies
of
Haude Gwenh are already there. They're
already there?
They're camped on the back side of Harrod. And had you just been happy with your initial scouting, you probably wouldn't have noticed that the armies are on the back side of Harrod, seemingly hidden by the buildings themselves. It's just the fact that they are so large when you travel further up the river, spending time, you realize that their army is rather mighty.
Shite.
There we go. Bear with me one moment.
You're fine, please.
Booms. Right.
I imagine you're looking for what you want to do as a response.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Anna. I'll fix it right now.
Where is this other one that I wish? Right, okay. So we can ride 2 to 3 horses abreast across this bridge. I know that the second army is much, much larger. I know that the first army isn't that large. And they also aren't particularly prepared for any sort of assault. Either of them, yeah?
They're not prepared for assault. Their army just got here. You believe they just got here, but you don't know. You don't know how quickly they might be able to react, so on and so forth.
I'm thinking I just pile in and destroy that first army instantly, and then retreat.
Cross the bridge and then run away and hope that the bridge that is meant to hinder you will also hinder them on the attack back.
Well, they're going to have to come all the way around on foot to get to where we're destroying an encampment and then leaving.
Don't forget that each combat round is hours, so that they could, in theory, join in after the first round. So if that first round isn't truly devastating, so you just kind of like look at your tactics and decide what might be the best.
Yes, I've got Dirty Fighter and Hit and Run. I can absolutely obliterate them in the first round.
Okay, and that's a good thing, because if you can like legitimately like just beat the shit out of them and then run away, then you might not be able to completely destroy their army, but you could certainly ruin their days.
Yep. So, what's DV? Defense value, and OM's your attack value. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, and then in which case I would, we'd have a full charge then. I mean, we have ranged weapons as well, so we can probably decimate them in ranged and melee. And then retreat with hit and run.
You do what you think you need to, sir, and we all support your decision.
That's my decision.
Okay, so the plan is to move in for the attack then. Cool.
Yep.
All right, is everybody excited about this? This is about to happen. Finally. So you head back to your troops and tell them, get ready. It's very likely we're going to be kind of like charging forward. I don't know if you're going to do one of those kneel moments where you stop and give like a nice long speech or whatever it is, but you wait for your soldiers to come back and they give you that information. What do you say to your soldiers from here when you have that info?
The sun is low. The time is short. We will ride across that bridge and deliver unto the enemy hell. And then, as the sun sets, we will disappear into the fields and the woods. They will be shaken. They'll be scared. By the time the main force arrives, we will be ready.
Is that everything? Okay. It just seems short for a kneel speech.
We don't have time. Time is of the essence at this point. Like we're just plowing through that bridge and just destroying them and then leaving.
Beautiful. All right. Just copy and pasta and flip. Oh, nope, that was wrong. Flip. Go. 1 second, almost done. I hate when the Alt button doesn't work. There we go. And here we go.
Poor Jake. He's like, I pull back. I can see him suffering.
I won't lie, Jake. My back is also killing me. But what are you gonna do? I brought my daughter ice skating.
Did you hear that? He's just calling you out. He's like, "Oh, my back's also home, but what are you gonna do, you little bitch?"
No. My back's sore, but it's the fact that it's like a 93% humidity here that's getting me.
Oh yeah.
It's just like.
And you guys don't have air conditioning because you try to be like care about the environment.
No, I have an air conditioner and it's right there, and if I turn it on, you won't be able to hear.
Oh, you do have air conditioning. Oh,
yeah, he's suffering because of you, Scott.
I'm so glad
for you.
You live in a proper country there, Jake. Unlike Neil. All right.
Why do I need air conditioning?
To condition your air?
We have like 1 or 2 weeks where it's above 30 degrees. And that's it.
It's so weird how Firefox has been working lately. All right, there we go.
You've been struggling to explore the internet, Scott.
That's right. That's why I have the Internet Explorer to help me out.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
There we go. Perfect. So this is going to be our little map here with your little bridge. That's going to be pulling us across.
How scary.
It's super scary, isn't it? And bridge. Yay, we have a little structure. Map and ready. So this is for you to go across the bridge and to attack them. So Neil, as always, we need to look at the rules for the mass combat.
Yes, we do.
Because they're a little complicated, aren't they?
Wartime rules. Rules of war. First up, we got tactical phase.
So during the tactical phase, you're going to roll your check against the commander of whatever army that might happen to be down there. Now, if you're lucky, it's going to be the commander of the actual, what are they called? Militia army, not the real commander. Hopefully he's sipping a tea or whatever it is after his long ride over from Haude Gwenh.
Right. And that would be for me right, let me... Tactical phase. So, it's profession soldier, so for me it's +5 then, okay.
Yeah, you actually have a legitimately good roll on this one. So we're both going to roll.
Roll
and remember,
1d20 +5.
You're not allowed to use the luck dice unless somebody else gives you some sort of modifier. Oh.
Boom.
You rolled so much better than me. It's really, really bad. All right, so it's probably no surprise that as your army comes up over the corner, you plot out your attack, so on and so forth, that they are not completely unsuspecting because they were able to spot you. So there's no surprise that with their position, they choose to kind of like hunker down as their tactic. So as the tactical phase, they're actually going to choose hold firm, which increases their DV considerably, but also greatly hinders their OM.
And I am choosing all-out attack.
So hold firm is going to give me a +4 and a -4. Oh, that one. So this is a +4 gets me to here, and a -4 gets me to here. Beautiful.
And I've got a -4 there, and a +4 there.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. So you see how it works? Beautiful. All right, I love this how those little bars are able to kind of show us.
Yeah, I know, and they show what to return to as well. It's so nice, isn't it? Not having to remember that.
Yeah, God, I was so happy. I was like, I'm glad I'm not dumb. So beautiful. The tactical phase is literally you sitting there, you're looking them out, and you're like, Neil, I'm not even gonna have you roll. I don't remember what it says that this phase is supposed to take. A number of. It's literally takes you 10 minutes, and you're like, all right, boys, this is how it's gonna play out. They're not gonna move an inch. They're gonna hunker down and let us throw ourselves to the death on their spears. But that's not what's going to happen. We're going to throw ourselves to the death on their spears with vigor. So, do you wish?
No. They're going to stand there while we run them through with our spears.
Of course.
They're bracing using their spears to make sure that our spears get maximum penetration.
Not a good enough use to use the word penetration. So you sir,
I'm getting the soldiers riled up.
During the ranged phase, I imagine you're going to choose not to engage in ranged. You're going to choose to move up into their melee.
That would take up time using the range phase, would it?
Correct.
Okay. In that case, no, we'll use melee, and in which case, in my first melee phase.
I'm so sorry. I didn't tell you what their actual tactic was. All I said because you actually crushed me, so I have to tell you more than just that they're hunkering down. They also
have an actual tactic. They're reserves, Scott.
Of course, that's all they are.
Don't tell me they have defensive line. Don't say that.
Not hold the line. No, they don't have hold the line. They just simply have defensive tactics, which means that their army's DV is increased by 2.
Bastards. That's fine. Raven has got dirty fighters.
Okay.
So
right.
for the first melee phase, my OM is increased by +6.
Beautiful. So +6 is absolutely sexy. So why don't you? This brings us to the next phase, which rules of war is the melee phase, where we both get to roll. So you're going to roll 1d20 plus your OM minus my DV. So you can roll whenever you'd like. I will do so as well. So
I roll a 1d20 plus my OM, yeah?
Correct.
So 1d20 plus 16.
And let's see if anybody's modifying this for you.
1d20 plus 16.
Nobody has modified for you, and thank you so much for the bitty bit job there, Norby. Appreciate the 1,000 bits, mate.
Nice.
Oh! Oh my god, that is so painful. It is an army of recruits. You know what I mean? What are they called? Reserves. I can't remember the name right now because that's such a crushing number. So their plus is usually a 5, but they're taking a -4 for holding out. Oh my god, that's so bad. Do you know what their DV is right now, though? 21.
Ooh, that's high.
But you still did 11 points of damage. Jesus. So you...
No. It's plus. Oh no, of course, because I was going to say it's +2 because I'm all out attack, but they're also -2. So that equals.
Yep. So correct, because of the tactical phase there. I think you are correct. So you, sir, crush them for 11 points of damage. That is about half their health. That is an insane onslaught. So round 1 is literally your character.
Half their health? How much health do they have?
It's a much bigger army. It's 500 people, remember? So all of a sudden, as you guys start riding in, they're already been pulling down the tents. They're already setting them up. Set the stage here. They've already been pulling down the tents, setting them up. All the guards are like running to get to the ready. By the time you're literally the first soldier is like riding across the bridge, they're just kind of getting into line and dropping their spears and they're like, like holding against yours, and you come rolling in and just like blasting past the spears. Some of your soldiers literally jumping off the end of the bridge to kind of like hit from the side, and everybody's just like coming at them, pouring across this bridge as quickly as they could. There's a moment at the very beginning there with a point of contact where things go very poorly for you. It just does not go well. But that moment is literally about that, a moment. We're talking less than a minute of war, so that lasts for hours. And then just your soldiers continue to pour on their horses over and over. A couple of random arrows shot to take down little spearmen here and there. And then you just explode outwards and just wreak havoc against their sad reserves army they have there, the conscript army that they have there. And just start destroying them left and right. That is round 1. At the end of that round, we both have to make a morale check to see if we maintain the will to fight. Do you remember what
my morale bonus is +2.
Where is did we have you? I feel like we had something written for.
It's +2
because you already won a war, so your morale is currently a.
Oh crap!
Oh no, we already adjusted that, so your morale's only a 2. Yeesh. Okay, so you're gonna have to roll your morale check, DC 10, 1d20 +2.
I get you. Yeah, I get you.
And remember, you can't use luck dice because it has not been unlocked.
+2. Slash roll 1d20 +2. I just want to type /1d20. You think they'd have added that as a command by now?
We both beat it. We're both able to beat the roll. I want you to do me another favor. As you guys are both, your armies are able to hold true. It's now tactical phase again. Unless you're changing your tactics, you don't have to do anything. You can continue the all-out attack.
So this is actually not continuing at this point because this is where I can hit and run.
Please continue.
So let me find my boon. So so actually that morale phase wouldn't have happened necessarily, right? After attacks are resolved in the range.
Militia. Thank you, Anno. Militia. Appreciate
After attacks are resolved in the ranged phase or the first melee phase, the army may use the withdraw tactic with a +2 bonus on its opposed morale checks. A commander, blah, 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 blah. So I can choose to withdraw.
Oh, okay. What's the name of the boon?
Hit and run.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm so sorry. I'm just better at reading than listening, and I'm so sorry about that. After resolved range. Yeah, that's amazing. With a +2, that's sexy. So you and I are going to make the opposed morale check bonuses.
Yeah. So it's mine's with a +4.
And mine is my typical +5. Ooh, that's a good roll to try to beat. Ooh. Oh, nice. You crushed me. And so literally your soldiers are able to rush in there, attack, and you're able to retreat. Now, when it comes to the retreat, you're actually able to do this at the end. So at the end of the phase, like during the morale phase, you're like, pull back, pull back, pull back. And they do so, but not in like a retreat sort of like we're injured. It's literally to cross the bridge and to urge them to continue fighting you, to push on. So that's what happens. This brings us back to the tactic phase. Now, technically speaking, you're supposed to stay in all-out attack, which makes sense that in all-out attack, you would kind of stay there. Do you want to change your tactic from being all-out attack to being
Yeah, I'll shift one down to aggressive.
Okay, cool. For you to do 2 steps to standard, it would be...
Yeah. Am I not withdrawing at this point? Like, how's it working? What do I have to do to...
So the way that it worked is you actually went up and engaged them in melee.
Yeah.
And then you immediately pulled back to the point where you're both at each other's ranged position. So you're just across the bridge.
Okay, so we might have another ranged round.
Exactly. You could easily have another that's about to happen. So you're kind of like sitting right here where you can shoot arrows
Okay, I'm
at
with
each
you.
other.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Perfect. So you're going to my apologies. You're going to be doing your tactical phase now, and you're doing that 1-step transition, which requires no check whatsoever. You automatically succeed. So you go from all outs to aggressive attack. They actually... Oh, sorry. Roll. Your tactics.
Yeah. +5. And let me take that down.
I realized one of my rolls happened to be hidden by accident. I didn't mean for that to happen. Oh, I beat you.
6. Where's all that?
Oh, no, I rolled the wrong roll. I did not beat you. There we go. This is the right one. Oh, no, I don't win. So you find out that their tactic is to hold firm. However, because again, you crushed it, you realize the reason why their tactic is to hold firm is not just because, they want to hold firm, but it's also because the other army is approaching.
Yep.
So it's come from the other side of the town. It's spent its phase kind of like moving down to the other side of town, and it is approaching. This is the legitimate army. The two of them combined, as you see their numbers joining in, make it so that this is going to be an army of 1,000 against you. Currently, it is 500 militia you're fighting. This is going to make it an army of 1,000 soldiers, as you see they're approaching to you. It is your turn to decide what you want to do with your tactics. Again, you can change your tactic from that 1-step transition to do something else. It's up to you. But I will tell you that this army has not yet crossed the bridge.
I'm just reading something, sorry.
I hope you're brushed up on these rules there, Tesh, because you're about to run your own little... They're pretty easy, as long as you're like looking them over.
They're pretty easy, yeah. I'm just reading certain things.
If you're over in the...
Okay, right, so I'll make a range phase, and then I can use hit and run once again.
Correct.
Because it's a range phase, and I can just run. So that's what I just wanted to do.
Yeah. Luckily, my ability is just like better morale, so I don't have anything fancy. It's just
Which is a tasty.
Yeah, it's still good.
And let me just, because my DV has increased as well, so let me just double check what it's. Instead of it being -4, it's -2. Okay, right. So we make opposed rolls. I'm on a +8. So roll 1d20 +8. Nice.
That is, sir, 0 damage, sir. And my tactic is very sad. Please roll well, Scott.
No damage.
I seem to never be able to damage you. It's so frustrating. So, this is just so you're aware, the ranged phase, because you ran away, you don't get to attack on your ranged phase. My apologies. So your real roll, we did this out of order. On your melee phase, your ranged phase, you ran up, I shot at you, did 0 damage. Your melee phase, you attacked at us, did 0 damage. I now have to roll again for my damage. So.
Come again? What?
He got
that's
to attack in ranged, but you didn't.
Because they actually have ranged weapons.
But did you not just do a ranged attack there?
I did the ranged attack, and now I'm rolling my melee attack.
But we're not in melee combat because I withdrew.
I'm sorry. What are you doing for your tactics, sir?
I'm confused as to the tactic. So I'm on aggressive attack.
Yep.
Because I went down one step.
Correct.
In the last round, we had melee combat, and then I used hit and run to withdraw.
Correct.
Which maybe I need to look at what withdraw is.
It pulls you back out of the melee range.
Right.
So on the back into the ranged phase, you're choosing instead of to shoot, you're choosing to walk forward to attack again in melee.
Your army, so you're running away, but doesn't need to.
Because one of the perks of hit and run is you can convince them to come across the bridge rather than hunker down. And that's where you're going to be able to devastate them, is if they come across. So they got the attack against you, but they did nothing. But then as you engaged in melee, you both attack.
But we're not engaging in melee, we're pulling out. Where did you get, we're not turning back around, we're just pulling out.
You already did that last round.
Yes, and then after a ranged attack, I can use hit and run to withdraw once again.
Oh.
That's what I was ascertaining.
Oh, my apologies.
So it's the first melee you could do it. But any ranged.
Ranged or first melee.
Yeah. So any ranged, only first melee.
I missed the or. My apologies.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for.
So you're doing a ranged attack, I was doing a ranged attack, and then you're pulling back from the ranged attack, which means you're technically pulling even further.
Yes.
Misunderstood you. Thank you for clarifying, actually.
No, that's why I was confused. I was like,
you're fine.
I don't.
You're fine. I missed the or. It's phrasing. You know how these games work. So you guys end up firing arrows at each other. It ends up being a big whiff. So that is all great and all, but it actually ends up working out so that as you guys are like pulling at each other and you end up pulling back, you just have to do the morale check to pull back, which should be pretty easy for you to do.
Okay, never mind.
You do the morale check to pull back, but again, it should be very easy for you to do in resolution because
1d20 plus 4. Again, it's the +4 because I got the hit and run trait.
Correct. I usually have a +5, but I'm actually only going to go +2 because this is much easier for you, and you still win. So beautiful. All right.
So the reason I suddenly read something in withdraw and I was like, if all these checks are successful, you may withdraw. And I was like, oh yeah. So I'm reading withdraw on the website now.
You're good. All right. So we're going here. You are, boom. You are, boom. And
so I can withdraw from the battlefield.
There we go. You want to run away entirely?
Yeah.
Okay.
So unless that other army, the second army, is in range, and it counts as a second army, in which case I have to make another morale check for it.
Nope.
I can then choose I may withdraw from the battlefield or treat the phase as a range phase. And because of obviously you don't send 200 men versus 1,000.
Yep. Unless
you're Broga.
You did your damage. You proved your point, and then you wow, Jake, you hear that? Oh, Jake's okay.
However, I didn't realize whether or not the checks are successful. Reduce your army's OM and DV by 2 for the rest of this phase. So
I still wouldn't have hurt you.
No,
okay, yeah. Me, so you're fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay, right, cool. Yeah.
So you withdraw. Now here's the question. This is an out of combat question. Do you want to completely retreat, or do you want to hang back and start trying to hunker down? So if they come to you, you can start peppering them.
We don't need to hunker down because we're on horseback and they're not. We can pepper them, but we don't have to hunker down.
I understand.
Like hunkering down is actually a worse tactic because then you lose your mobility.
I think we're getting mired in the phrasing, and I do this myself all the time. But hunker down, I don't mean the strategy hold firm. I mean just like kind of like get ready when they attack. We're going to be prepared to shoot at them. I was more using it conversationally as opposed to like.
No. Well, yeah, but I wasn't talking about the tactic either. Hunker down means hunker down.
Yeah.
We would retaliate if they're not sending all 1,000 men because there's a chance they can catch us.
Okay. Yep. So they are actually going to start because obviously you guys have come in here. Their tactic is, so once you guys kind of like pulled back a good bit, it's now tactics phase, where you have to decide what tactical phase you want to do, and then we decide who plays whose hand. I'm again rolling my +2, sorry. +2.
Oh, no, because I want to withdraw from the battlefield. I don't want to continue combat.
Okay. And you withdraw.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was asking beforehand. Cool. So you're going to withdraw entirely. Absolutely. So you literally, like, and this is why you're saying, oh, no, we're on horseback, we can get out of here. So you literally go,
Yeah.
and
We've done the damage and left.
Yep. Beautiful. Awesome. So you're going to do exactly that. You're going to pull away and kind of recuperate to see whether or not you want to come back tomorrow, whatever the case may be. Awesome. So as you're pulling back, you're, of course, going to ride all the way until you meet up with, what's his name?
Jaeger. General Jaeger.
General Jaeger. Is that where you're going to ride all the way until you meet up with him? Even if not all your soldiers, just you with a couple of others, and the rest of them still pulling back a good bit?
The best plan would be to fall back a safest distance where we can still maintain scouts on the bridge and the river.
Mm-hmm.
And then send a messenger back to General Jaeger, if that's possible.
Absolutely, it's possible. Yep. So you send the messenger back to General Jaeger, more or less informing him of the basic situation. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Just informing him that there's about 1,000 enemy soldiers. We've hit them and we've retreated because we're so outnumbered.
Yep.
And we'll wait for the army of Aurorum.
Beautiful. Now let's move back over to this map over here.
Yeah, sorry about that, Scott. I was getting confused with some of the.
It's not just you. It's something
I've not used withdraw either before.
It's something that we're all kind of new to, so we're all still trying to figure out. So the and luckily war isn't all the time; it's only sometimes. So continuing, let's over here. So you guys are able to be down here. So the army of Valrin has marched in the first day. We're able to get to here. You are pulling back as much as you can to... Oh, no, they're here. Raven's riders are pulling back to about here. About a half day's ride back. So you send a messenger out, and you get a messenger back late in the middle of the night saying the army will... The message just simply says, the army will leave before daybreak. Short rest will leave before daybreak. We'll meet you just after dawn. And so that's what's going to happen for you. But day 2. Jake, Vroga's army, they ride. They ride hard, they ride far, all the way as far as they can to Kurzfall. Do you try to push them? Nope. Pull it from you, sorry. Tesh. You rode hard all night to, in that first day, get all the way there. So by the time Neil's army is pulling back and doing his full retreat and whatnot to go meet up with the other army, kind of like meeting up over there, you're now in Rid. And when you get to Rid, oh, this is a sight. So, Rid, you weren't here when I described this last time. I know you were here when you saw, like, Rid had, like, the refugees were kind of, like, stationed in an area, kind of separated to the side. That's no longer the case anymore. You decided to have, like, pretty much a full integration with only a small little narrow point for them to kind of get filtered in through. That's holding, or at least it was holding until recently. There's a bit of a panic when you get to Rid, because they are aware of what is right outside their doorstep. They know. Literally, when you come walking in, you find... Jake, what's your girlfriend's name? You know, this one. Tally. You find Tally is over there with the Goliath leader of them, whose name I have to look up. Sorry, my dog is super distracting me because she's deciding to bark because the gentleman upstairs went outside for a second, came back in like 10 minutes ago. She's like, I'm going to keep barking about this. That was 10 minutes ago.
So, hilarious timing. My food's literally just about to arrive right now.
Oh, perfect. Do you need to go get it?
It's 1 minute away.
Oh, perfect.
So I can keep paying for a little bit, then I'll jump up and grab it.
That gives you time to go upstairs and beat the dog. Just kidding. I don't hit animals. That don't deserve
He does.
it.
He does.
So you, there you are. So you, when you arrive, you see it's Tally that's there with this, the Goliath from the group of the Free Folk, as well as, kind of to your surprise, the actual leader of the, no, that's not what I wanted. The actual leader of the Free Folk themselves. She's even there. That's what I wanted. And just to give you their names, Shina, hanging on out
Okay.
in there. The hetman is Isa Crumb, and the other guy's name is Naga.
Look, he's a crumb.
Okay.
I remember this
Sweet,
lady
yeah, I'm gonna
now.
go grab it.
Okay, so you're gonna walk in and grab that. You mute yourself. I'm gonna go to Jake. Jake, you ride hard and get yourself all the way to Cursefall. When you finally get to Cursefall, the next morning, kind of waking up and pushing on that last leg to get there. I mean, it's nice. It's one of those things where there's this moment where you heard what 3 had to say. You understand the truth in what she says, even if it's aggravating and doesn't fully kind of correlate with what you're thinking lately, so on and so forth, what your mentality has been. But when you come and see Cursefall for the first time after this gap, it's like, what I've built here, I am proud of. I think that what I am doing is in Vroga's name. Perhaps not the typical or traditional approach to worshiping Vroga, but I can do both. I can institute a new worship of Vroga while also, like you're kind of doing right now, worship him in the old ways, right? So you kind of get that moment of pride when you come through here and feel as though all the tactics that you've been doing are successful. When you're coming through your city, aside from going straight into and revealing your portal to all these men, which didn't know it was there before, do you do anything prior to that? Do you visit anybody?
Yeah, we go to the shrine.
Do you just go straight to the shrine?
All of us. Yeah.
Okay. You bring the entire army of 102 of you.
All of us.
As many as we
like,
can fit and in the shrine and crowd around the shrine where everyone is getting as close as they can.
Oh, you literally,
God,
everybody in the building? That's so
Let's
cool.
hope no
much
one
as we
starts
can.
a fire or bars the door.
Listen.
Or both.
I'm just saying, if Master...
Joey.
If the... I bet he is having food arrive at the same time.
Today is chaos.
It's a happens you don't play for weeks on end.
What happened to my camera? I left for 2 seconds.
Just as you're saying something, it's just bye.
So
I said keep going. I can hear.
it's a good thing. It's a good
Just
thing
had to grab something.
the Master of the Quill isn't here because he would call fire code. So you everybody kind of jams in there, and you're all sitting inside there. Everybody kind of squished in. Nobody's really able to sit aside from that douche who has to sit. Really?
He's like, do I have any idea where the fire exit is? No.
1 and 2 and 3 are all up front.
One would look to his left and to his right, and then he would just start in a prayer in Orcish, and in it he would ask for victory on the battlefield to come, to bring glory to Vrogar's name and create a battle worth remembering.
Gotcha.
And then he would look to me as well because she is supposed to be inspirational. So
Okay.
see if she can get the men riled up.
So why don't you, sir? Let me look at your character sheet before I tell you to roll anything.
Let me pick the stat that is worst for you.
There we go.
Look at that little evil grin.
You're going to roll a religion check. You're good at it. Except before you roll that check, she's going to give you an aid of +4 on that.
Oh, yay.
She rolled well to give her +4.
Terrible luck on my religion checks. So
No, you got this. You got to have faith.
And you can use luck dice on this if you need to.
I'm going to use it no matter what. Right, ready?
Wow, no matter what.
Look, you said
God, you rolled terribly.
and that doesn't include the +4, so you're actually at a 21.
21. Yeah.
Use your luck die. Unfortunately, remember the macro has never been fixed.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh isn't here.
Too busy with your new streaming gig, huh?
Yeah.
Forgetting your old friends now, you're all famous.
Hey, it's 25 total. That's actually pretty ballin'. Just so you guys know, now I'll reveal, because you used that one, you're down to 2 dice.
Oh, Jesus.
Because you're
Yeah.
you're
2
gifted one
dice left. Thanks for the dice, friends.
Yep. So you sir, are giving this prayer where you call out to Vroga. I want to let you know, in this shrine, here and now, you feel an energy kind of like flowing through the area. You can literally feel there is a presence here with you.
It's a bushfire. Welcome to Australia.
You can feel that there's a presence here, and it is warm, and it is embracing. Like, as you guys call to war, you can feel it happening. Now, while you feel the anger, and while you feel like the bloodlust of Vroga appearing before you, like all this happening, you're getting like excited. You're getting like riled up. You can feel war happening. You just got another bit of luck. So you can go up to 3-0, 4-0. As this is kind of coming to an end, and you kind of like the whole ceremony comes to its close, your soldiers eventually start to eep out of the place. You actually have 5-0. You actually have somebody comes up to you, a scout, comes up to you, one of your soldiers of Valoran, and says, "Chosen of the blade. I'm surprised to find you here, but I come with news. I was bringing it to the others that were in charge, but I'm glad to find you. It seems as though the armies are marching out of Haude Gwenh."
I thought they'd already left.
Oh, they did, Chosen. They left Haude Gwenh before to the north and to the west to attack both Rid and Herod, respectively. But it seems as though Haude Gwenh had a third army that it was keeping within itself. It seems as though they are marching both north and west. It seems as though they are marching on vigil.
Have a rider sent to vigil.
Well, sir, this information wasn't something that we discovered. This is information that the Scouts of Vigils discovered, and they were sending word out to all the different posts. Vigil's calling for aid.
How will Rohan answer? I'm sorry.
What is the size of the force?
Sir, unfortunately, I do not have that information. But I will say this. If Vigil is calling for aid, I imagine not small.
And they dispatched riders to wherein and Valoran.
They would have, yes.
Dispatch another rider to Reed. Have the free folk, as soon as they are finished in whatever battle it is there, head immediately for vigil.
Will you not answer the call?
We have a call of our own.
Nods. It's like, very well, Chosen. Gives the appropriate bow. And he leaves. And we will cop a pasta and get another army heading this way.
What's it called? The Trump army. It's coming to land strike our friends.
What? What about Naga? What? So you
Fucking hell of a trump card, buddy. Fucking extra armies all around.
So you are
Can you imagine?
Oprah, you get an army.
Yeah,
Get
no.
an army.
Can you imagine if you didn't think to take the portal and was riding straight into that?
Yeah, that would suck.
be like, back that way. Actually, I won't lie. When you changed paths, I was like, but I was gonna have you. Oh, okay.
You're gonna have him meet this army of 1,000 on a field.
I was curious to see how he would allow it to play out.
Just in an open field. He'd die.
I was curious to see how he would allow it to play out.
They'd
You
all
knew how
die.
it would play out. Stop lying.
Army of Valor. Where is Hinta? Somebody says move Hinta. Oh,
Down by Ostrand.
yeah. She was supposed to. How fast does she move? 3? That's right. So
I don't know, mate. Click on her.
It's so that'd be half.
What's
One,
what's the
two,
movement?
three.
It's 3.5 or 4? I don't know.
Yep. All right,
3.5.
perfect. Thank you for the heads up. Oh, that's you. Oh, you were the one that asked that. Sorry.
Yeah, but it was Anna who actually said it.
Gotcha. Cool. Moving on. So you
Anna's paying me back for my medical advice.
you then walk. Then go walking into your like literally riding. Not riding. So you guys are on foot, not on horseback. Walking into your own castle. Walking into your grand hall. All 103 of you. Walking up.
Sorry, before as they're filing out, before I leave, once again, knowing the spell, he's just going to take out that axe as he's the last one to leave. And he says, as he's leaving, he pauses at the entrance, he turns and looks behind him and he says, I don't know what you meant. And I don't know if we've read your signs right. But if I should not use this, show me now.
And then you look to like 2 to cast augury again.
No, he's just asking for some
I'm
divine
asking
spells.
Rogue, more or less in the temple, like he gave me sight last time. If he gives me any sign, he won't use it. But that's what he's doing. He's checking one more time before he goes.
Beautiful. So you check one last time before you go, like you said. And I'm actually going to allow this to work because you rolled a 25 on your religion check there, your prayer in his name, so on and so forth, that you do get a response. The response that you get, though, however, it's strange because you don't get the response. It doesn't feel the way it has in the past. It doesn't feel like Vroga. It feels like something else, something unfriendly but honest. You get this like almost chill to you as you receive a response. And the response is for you to look at the axe. You just get this like, as you get this like unfriendly but honest kind of like wash over you, it's like look at the axe as like compulsion. And so you look down and you look at the axe and the axe is glowing red. And it's almost one of those, like as you're aggravated, you look down at it and you're like, like as your breath goes onto it, same as before, as more air hits it, the thing kind of like flares up more, like typical fire does when air, mixes with flame, right? But you just get this impression. Something about this axe seems off. Something seems wrong about it. And you're staring deeper and deeper into it. And as you stare deep into it, you can almost feel as though your soul gets lost in it. Like almost like your soul is consumed by it. The more you allow yourself to fall into it. Whereas you got that like almost like cold and unfriendly, honest truth that pulled you to look at the thing, you now feel a warmth, a glow coming from within the axe that is just too warm. So hot even that it almost feels as though it's literally burning you from the inside. Again, talking metaphysically, from the inside as you just fall too deep into trying to discover what it is. You feel it literally almost trying to grab you, like, again, your soul, and like pull you into it. With a strong force of will and actually more of the might of Vroga himself, you can feel like a snap back as you like pull yourself away from the thing. And there's that moment where you kind of like looking down at it and you feel yourself like cold sweating. Like you can literally feel like in that moment, you're like, oh shit, what is this thing? And you get this like uncomfortable feeling. Something's unnatural with this. Something is wrong with this axe that you're holding.
Well, immediately he would wrap it back up, and on the way into the castle, while they're all gathering in the map room, he'll go up to his room and hide it in his room to dispose of later. So hopefully nobody else will see it, but he's going to get rid of it.
So he's going to go
Roger is standing away.
Okay, so he's going to go like bring the axe literally to his chambers as the men are kind of like filtering out of the temple or whatever, getting their own things, do whatever they have to do really quickly. Oh, they don't live here. They're not getting anything. They're swinging by the tavern for a quick pint. A good old barrel of glug mug. And you're going to head into the castle and, like you said, kind of like hide this thing in your chest or under your bed or whatever it might be. And and you get your old axe.
And puts it under his pillow. Good, perfect.
For the Vroga fairy. So
Well, he would throw it, but he doesn't want anyone else to get it because of how dangerous he feels it is. He needs to dispose of it properly at a time when he is able to.
He does. He throws it under the mattress. Yeah.
Hinter can just like hit it a couple times with a hammer and turn it into a little blob.
Mm-hmm.
You could leave it in her.
True.
You could leave it in her possession.
No, but what if she uses it? She would as well if it came to it.
I would hide it. I'll deal with it later.
She'd murder a man. No questions asked.
Do you try to pull anybody with you to Haude Gwenh? Do you wish to bring anybody that you have left behind? And just as a reminder for who is here, where are we?
Time to bring the treasurer. Payback time.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you actually have, I don't think I have the right thing pulled up. So the treasurer is here. You are correct there. But there was also one other. I think it's, that's right. You haven't spoken to what's his name?
Was it Arthur? No, maybe Arthur had moved.
It's no, it's not Arthur. It's Lander is here. You guys haven't seen Lander in
That's who I meant, Lando. Yeah.
Not Lando.
I don't know why.
Star Wars. Lander. So
Lando.
Where's his daughter? Can you confirm?
Lander and Edric is here.
Lando.
That's not his daughter. If they made that his daughter, that'd be lame.
They confirmed it.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What? Really? Oh, what? A tweet?
Yeah, it was confirmed in something.
They're like the only black guy in Star Wars. So if there's a black girl, it must be his child. Is Finn his child too? Like you could have more than one family, guys. You don't have to make everybody a legacy. You know, like you could have.
Yeah, no, that's all that film series had left.
It's so disappointing. Star Wars is so disappointing.
That Star Wars series was like, imagine like it's like seeing Scott stream and talking to him, and then like you see him in person, you're like, holy crap, he's a midget.
That did not go where I thought that was
Yeah,
going.
me neither. I was like, is he? Which way he's going insulting? And then it's like, oh, you're by yourself? You must be Han Solo.
Oh,
painful.
Jesus.
So bad. It's like there's only one character in Star Wars that's more iconic than Han Solo, and it's R2-D2. You know what I mean? And it'd be like if R2-D2 he was originally a trash can, but it's like, why? So moving on. You head to your room. You put it out there. Is there anybody you'd like to bring with you? Any conversations you'd like to have? Lander, Edric, anything like that, or no? Because again, you're about to pop into the heart of Haude Gwenh. So I don't know if there's anybody you wanted to bring.
I would have the guards make sure that my room is not like there's got to be a guard on the door. Do not go in the room. Do not permit anyone in the room. If I fail to return, tell Rayron or whoever comes back to be very careful with what's inside.
Okay.
This is literally like
I need to sense motive on the guard as well.
this is literally like this is like this guy, and he's like, look, if I don't come back, I need you to go in my room, get the chest that's under my bed, don't open it, just burn it, don't open it.
It's like a scene of like Peter Griffin handing his porn stash to Chris.
And I'm also using like intimidating diplomacy on him. Like I'm taking the 27.
Rawr.
Jesus, taking the 27. You will not open that chest. The guy poops a little. It won't be open, sir.
And then he would go
Happens,
speak to Edric just on the way.
It's one of those things where as you're like walking through the hall, probably like half looking for him or thinking, maybe I should see him. You actually just bump into him and he's like, Chosen. Or sorry. He's got like bags under his eyes. He looks like a shadow of who he was beforehand. He does not look well. Like it's one of those things where you can clearly tell he doesn't wash as often as he used to. You know what I mean? Like he's like
classic
instead
Scott.
of once every 2 to 3 days, because medieval times, it's once every like week or so. He's been bathing lately. Like he just looks like all messed up. And he's like, oh, Chosen. That's his whole opening. Oh. Like West Coast stoner. Oh, Chosen.
You just say, Edric. 2 things. Firstly, in Haude Gwenh, is there a temple to Lady Erebille?
No.
Anywhere where worshippers of her may gather that is not a temple.
You're okay there, Tesh.
Yeah. There's Sorry, don't mind me. Just tired. There in Haude Gwenh, there's a few old buildings that they were temples long ago, but they've different gods. They're speculated that way because the structure you can clearly tell like where a statue used to be. People would talk about it, but not for a long, maybe hundreds of years have they been temples. One of them became a like a smith shop, you know, like made out of good brick. Good stone. So it became like a smithy. Sometimes worshippers of Aravel would go to the smithy and say prayers there. I don't know if it was ever her temple. And then there were others that would have their little shrines, but yeah, that's about it. There's no real, like, Haude Gwenn's not known for its faith.
If you were to attack an unsuspecting Haude Gwenh, where should be the first place you would go once inside the walls?
Oh, shit.
He's like, you got to deal with the council, and you're like,
So,
other than that,
in times of strife, the council is supposed to meet at the bank, where it's where they would go to have security because the structure of the building is, as you know.
oh my god, full circle.
You would not be able to really get to them, right? Especially with the network underneath it. And but you'd be hard pressed to really siege that if you weren't trying to take the council specifically, because that would take time. You'd be better off kind of starving them out than you would trying to break in, right? There's a barracks there. It could be a good holding point. Barracks should be a good holding point, and then the market. That's right. There was a time where there was a buildup of people tried to resist against the Council of Haude Gwenh, and there actually was like a bit of a siege, and they actually tried to attack from the inside. And the marketplace was literally transformed into like a battleground, and there's literally armaments and whatnot that were set there, and as a reminder to how their efforts were in vain. All of them were kind of like left in place, like the half walls and whatnot that are there. That would be another place that soldiers could gather and try to use as a siege point, though it's not fully structured. It was broken down. It still exists as the reminder, so that would be another point you'd want to hit hard, because it's a point where people could rally. So I would say the barracks and the market were two places that you would want to hit, because it would break down easy rally points. And it's the bank. The bank is another big rally point for them.
Edric, I'm going to ask something of you, and it's not an order, but a request.
Yeah. He pulls
We're going to appear.
He pulls out his book and starts opening it up, like turning towards where the coin is.
One puts his hand on the book and closes it. And he says, will you accompany me into battle? I know you are tired, but I'll have that taken care of. We're going to appear in the heart of Haude Gwenh. I don't know if we'll return. I'd like you there, but if you feel you must stay, you may do so.
It's got a way to refresh you, big boy. Not the only one who knows how to handle a club.
Oh, god dang it.
I'm surprised Scott managed to maintain a straight ratio.
You want me to attack Haude Gwenh with you?
I do.
I'll do so. But I have one request.
What is it?
There's one member of the council I would love to get my hands on.
Let's hope it's Beltran.
Yeah.
It's just like one's like. So is it Beltran?
One would ask who it is. He would.
He would ask who it is. He goes, "You met him once before, clad in armor."
Oh yeah, he took 3 hits, didn't he?
I don't think I did meet him before.
Technically, your companions did, but
Yeah.
detail.
Was
he's
he the
tired.
one in? Oh, okay. Was he the one inside the bank?
He's the one who was
In the
up on
bank,
the thing,
yes, and then
looking down on us, and was like,
Yeah.
he's the one that took the extra
yeah.
whacking in the woods. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so you guys did kill that guy? Okay.
We literally.
One would say, is he a member of the council?
He nods. Oh yeah.
If he is there, you may do what you wish. However, I tell you this. Haude Gwenh, to my knowledge, may be leaderless right now.
Leaderless.
I do not know 100% for sure. I do not know what command structure they have in place.
Bluff check. Luckily for you, he is exhausted. I can't see that far without glasses on. That's like 18 inches from my face. Maybe 2 feet. Oh!
Yeah, right. Use that on a religion check.
Fucking damn.
Well, hello. That's a sexy roll. So you say, my apologies, leaderless, not to my whatever phrasing you said there, and he nods and he says, "It does." He goes, "Very well, if he's there, or if we get our hands on him at a later point." He says, kind of like looking at you, like semi-hopefully, but again, exhausted. And I imagine you nod to that. But he says, "It does make me think."
Take him out into the woods, and you're like, "Have fun."
He does say
That pile.
he pulls out an economy-sized jar of petroleum jelly and says, "I will."
Okay, that's no, that's too weird for me. I'm out.
Oh my god.
So
He's gonna.
my apologies. So he says you do make me think of one more thing. You had asked where it is that we would go to. I'm of course thinking of the council. You'd want to kill the council. But if the council's not there, for whatever reason, you would need to take out their houses. Every council member, they have their own structures. Who gives a fuck? They have their own structure for someone that would take over should they fall. We would need to remove them. And I'm not saying you have to go familial side and kill everyone, probably too big of a word for him, and kill everyone. But you certainly would have to pull enough rungs that the system would collapse.
So knowing this, what's our first step? Do we go there? Do we go to the barracks? Where do we go first?
I would say quell the army, then stomp the families.
And that is what we will do.
All right, let me get my club. And he says, he like turns around and starts shuffling off. Like he's so tired.
Last orders given to men before we leave are I need flags to place as soon as we come through. And they are to, at this time, the next day and the day after and the day after that, try and do the open portal thing.
Wait, why are you talking about day after? Sorry?
Like, if we have to retreat or we win and we want to come back or anything like that, they have to be there and do it at a certain time.
Oh, you're bringing a couple of your soldiers. Yeah. It's actually pretty easy because all you do is if you leave people inside the room, when almost like a chess piece or whatever, right? When a thing is pulled up on one side, you see it on the other. So it's just like, hey, watch that.
Okay, then yeah, that's what he would instruct.
But you would have to bring,
As
like
well
you said, a
as-
few soldiers that would bring a banner with them so they can wave that banner. Yep.
And we'd also be bringing a banner of Rogar, obviously. It's probably a few already, but yeah.
Nah, just burn them. I hear they're really good kindling.
So you get together your, what is it, dozen? This is, you have very limited guard in your home right now. But you're gonna bring what, a dozen soldiers, because they have to be able to maintain the banner. God forbid they get assaulted, right? Like hold off at least until the army of Roga is able to get to them to get them out of whatever trouble they get themselves. So I imagine a dozen soldiers plus a banner.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, plus a bannerman or whatever. And so you're gonna bring them with your army of 102, including 2 and 3, 103, including 2, 3, and Vaku. Excuse me, and head to Haude Gwenh. Now, you can't all get there at once because your council room's only so big. So it's literally 20 people at a time, which I imagine the first group includes probably you and 3, go through with like 18 others, and then, Vaku can go with another group, and 2 can go with another group, right? And so you guys are able to pull yourselves into Haude Gwenh. When you first get to the Haude Gwenh temple, it's been so long, man. When you first get there and you come out of the teleported room, you're back down in that old basement. That old basement with like the turning wheels, and it's like, oh my god, it's been so long since that big.
Oh god, the wheels, Dash, the wheels.
The big chamber where Neil went searching through and made a friend that I never forgot about, even though people seem to think that I did. Neil made a little friend down there.
We know that's still there.
What are you on about?
Where Jake was.
What friend?
Where Jake was able to get a ton of books, but he's been so busy, he hasn't had time to even like really look into them. Where he's able to get his hands on a ton of books that are of the old what are they called, Mull culture, and the people like for instance all these religions that you keep hearing kind of like mentions. There's probably information about that in those books, but he hasn't like had time to investigate them too much, unfortunately. So all that stuff is down there. So you grab these 12 soldiers. Which leaves your poor home even less defended. Luckily, Haude Gwenn's armies knew exactly where they're marching, and so you're good. You knew exactly that they're being countered, so you're good. I'm not trying to warn you there. And you jump through to this area. First group, second group, third group. You're finally there. Wonderful. Come through on the other side. As you guys are teleporting to the other side, you see, what's his name there? Daelric. When he comes through the third bout, the guy is literally walking, and he still has his book with him. Like, as he comes through the portal, he looks so tired. His club is, like, hanging down by his side all lazily. He's got the book tucked underneath one of his arms. He's like, this looks so tired. Like Jake does at the end of the session. And, and so he comes through, and 3 kind of, like, looks at you and looks at him and just kind of chuckles and says, well, you certainly know how to pick your soldiers. I love the sound of silence.
So, I keep muting myself.
Yeah, she chuckles, so you can leave the AC on as much as possible. Don't die. So she rushes over. She walks up to him and says, "It seems as though Vrogar has selected you to battle in his name today," and she will give the lesser restoration to him. And she casts a spell on him, and he goes from exhausted, because that's where he was, brought to fatigue, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh. Wow, that was a good nap." And he says, like, he literally looks like he was just woke up from a nap. And he almost seems a little delirious, like he's kind of confused. Like he thinks he may have just woken up from a nap, like he was just standing there napping for a moment. And it's almost like you pity the guy, So she looks back at you, and you give her like that pleading look, like, maybe not quite done yet. And she will cast the spell on him again, and eliminate the fatigue to him being normal. And he blinks a few times, and he's just like, holy shit.
He does like a proper Dragon Ball Z scream. The ground starts to shake as he powers up. Yeah.
Then he realizes he's Krillin and gets sad. So,
Krillin's getting better in the...
Sorry, Yamcha then. So...
Yeah, okay. Fair. Well played.
So he, all of a sudden he looks, and he looks around, and he's like, holy shit, are we in Haude Gwenh?
Yes, we
Oh
are.
dear.
And he looks
Are we
about and
ready?
he's like, I'm going to be honest with you, Chosen. I kind of thought I was dreaming when we talked. Are we about to siege Haude? Are we about to siege Haude Gwenh?
I wouldn't say siege it, but we're going to attack them from the center.
We're gonna chest burst them.
He looks very excited. He's like, I have a few bones with a few people that I'm really looking forward to pick.
Clubbing.
Yeah. So and he takes the book.
They're
and he
already
literally-
broken.
He takes the thing and he tosses it. Like we're talking like a several foot toss across the room onto the table, like that matches the table of like where you guys usually have your council meeting. And he grabs the club and like rotates his shoulders and stuff. He looks more like Edric than he has in months. He looks very excited, and he starts like walking past most of the other soldiers. And 2 looks at him and he goes, "Hey, want a competition?" And so that they kind of like go off and be boys.
And he just crushes Two's head with the club instantly. And everyone
Dwarves!
cheers.
They don't exist. And so you guys start making your way out. At this point, why don't we take a break? Because we come back. I almost said Jake because it rhymes with break. Tesh would like to have a moment of his own. So we'll be back, everybody, in just a couple minutes. I'm also going to order food and see if the gentleman upstairs would like to have some food as well. So I'll be back.
What food are you gonna order?
From a local house of pizza.
So you're getting
Nice.
pizza.
I might go for the sub. I'm lactose intolerant. I have to be. I already had cereal this morning. I can only be so mean. All right, I'll be back.